Hey everybody, Ijaz here. So the Tesla shareholder meeting has just taken place and I'm going to share with you the first 4 key takeaways. But the first thing to note is that the meeting took place in Austin, Texas. And yes, Elon Musk has finally confirmed that they will be relocating their headquarters from Palo Alto in California to Austin, Texas. But he was keen to mention that this is not a goodbye to California and he's actually trying to increase his footprint in California. So let's take a look at the things we learned the most. And the first thing we've learned is that Model 3 is now the most sold premium vehicle in the entire world. So let's share a graphic with you. And we can see that the Model 3 has now, from Q4 2020, surpassed the BMW 3 Series, Mercedes C-Class and E-Class, and the Audi A4, Q5 and A6. So it's become the best-selling premium vehicle globally, and it's an EV. So this is even comparing, obviously, to non-EV cars. And it just goes to show, just look at the trajectory there of the Model 3. Now, the interesting thing here is he actually believes the Y will outpace growth. So this visualization, if I move myself out of the way, gives you the total vehicle sales, quarterly deliveries by model. And you can see the Model S and X kind of just hovered around here, never really breaking 30,000. But then you can see the trajectory that the Model 3 and Y is on. And Elon Musk believes that the Model Y will be the best-selling vehicle of any kind globally by revenue next year and by any metric numerically in 2023. So he really sees the Y as being his flagship car going forward. Now, he also mentioned that the Giga Shanghai is now producing more cars than Fremont, which is amazing. And he mentions that, look, in order to get the Y to the expectations he just shared, that he would need to get Giga Texas and Giga Berlin online. So we know Giga Shanghai took about a year to build and a year to get to the capacity it's at. So we know in January 2020, Giga Shanghai had a run rate of 3,000 vehicles a week. At the beginning of 2021, Giga Shanghai reached a production capacity of 8,000 per week. September of this year, Giga Shanghai reported annualized production of 450,000 over the year. So you can see how quickly Giga Shanghai is really starting to push through and gain traction. Now, the second thing that we have learned is that supply chain issues are causing problems to prices for Tesla. Elon Musk reiterated his ambition that he wants to make these cars affordable, right? He wants to make the 3 and Y affordable, but he regretted that the price has now gone up $2,000 each for the base model Ys and 3s, although he does say that he's hoping he can bring this down as supply chain issues start to ease. And he gave an indication that he feels they will ease. He's been clear on thinking that we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but it has led to cost push inflation to the consumer. But again, he reiterated that over the longer run, he wants to make sure that these become affordable EVs to the masses. So he reiterated that vision. And the third thing we learned is that Tesla needs batteries, right? They are eating all the batteries that are available. And what Elon Musk said is, obviously there's a fear that Tesla could make some of these battery manufacturers go bust with the amount of volume they're requesting. But what he said is he's told suppliers, make as many as you can if you want to. There's no limit. We will buy as many as you can make. So that's what he said to all his key suppliers. And he says, as it comes through the batteries, he'll prioritize them obviously for vehicles first. But if there is any excess, he says he's happy to put those towards the Powerwall and Megapack, because he says the demand for the stationary equipment, the Powerwall and the Megapack, will increase as well as the vehicle production over time. So the batteries is a key element, and he needs to make sure he's got a supply chain which is fit for purpose in order for him to ramp up to the ambitious growth numbers, which we've seen on the charts. We got to make sure that the batteries are coming in, because he's eating up all of these batteries over at Tesla. The fourth takeaway from the shareholder meeting was that Elon Musk made it clear that all vehicle manufacturers at some point, once they've solved the EV problem, will want to build autonomous cars. And he's made that clear that they will want to do so at some point. And he reiterated the idea that Tesla are open to sharing their AI technology through licensing. Now, if we quote Elon Musk, he says, "I think autonomy will be such a significant lifesaver and preventer of injuries. That is not a technology that we want to keep to ourselves. So I think it will be morally right to license it to other manufacturers if they would like to use it." Now, whilst that's a very noble message that Elon Musk is sharing, I completely agree with it. This is a technology that he wants to share. It makes complete sense for Tesla shareholders as well, because we know Tesla's strength is in the software. They've managed to ramp up production and prove themselves as a true producer of vehicles, but their strength is in the software. And if they can solve this AI problem, which is one of the biggest problems we're facing of our time, and they can solve this autonomous driving, then it would make complete sense for them to license this out as a subscription model to all of the incumbent EV makers, Ford, VW, etc. All of these guys will not want to face this challenge. They wouldn't even know where to get started, to be completely frank. And if he's gone and done that without LiDAR, he could very simply license that out on a subscription, and that would be very high gross margin attributable to Tesla, and that would really help Tesla improve its EBITDA margins over time, and it's an absolute no-brainer for Tesla. And then the other way is this also becomes a gateway drug into the Tesla brand, right? So people who are very anti-Tesla, I love my Mercedes, I love my Audi, I love my Ford, they will get a taste of the autonomy that's being delivered by Tesla's AI, and then they'll go, hang on a second, if this is how it works with my car, imagine it with a Tesla, right? Where the glove actually fits. And I think it's a really clever gateway to get people into their ecosystem. And we've seen people do this before in various other softwares, but this will be very clever for Tesla to do. One, to increase their margins, but also to increase their reach and for it to be a backdoor into gaining more customers. Because what's going to happen is the demand for Teslas are high right now, and it's an issue of production. Once Giga Berlin, Giga Texas, Giga Shanghai are all firing and they're building more factories, Tesla would have solved the production dilemma, right? And at that point, they then need to find more customers, right? So that's going to be a challenge for them. And if they can somehow wean these people away from the incumbent manufacturers through demonstrating how well their autonomy works in other vehicles, that could be a very clever way for them to drive demand for their own vehicles, okay? So it makes complete sense for Tesla on any front. It's just whether some of those incumbents take Tesla up on that offer. Now, my view will be that a lot of these incumbents may actually try and go build it themselves. They try to, like we've seen already, partner with autonomy companies to try build these kind of autonomous vehicles, but then they'll soon realize this is too much to bite off, more than they can chew. And perhaps at that point, we'll see some of the incumbents start to reach out to the olive branch that Tesla Musk has offered out and discuss some licensing. So it's interesting to see that that is on the horizon as well. So overall, there you have it, guys. That's a summary of what we saw and heard at the Tesla annual shareholder meeting. A few great takeaways to take away with us, including the Model 3 becoming the best-selling premium vehicle, his aspirations for the Y, and him actually thinking it would eclipse the Model 3 is very interesting. His reiteration that he wants to keep prices low. He's been forced to bump it up due to supply issues, which he thinks are starting to ease. And obviously the battery issue is an ongoing issue to make sure that suppliers can keep pace with Tesla's phenomenal growth and actually make sure that they have the batteries. We don't want that being a limiting factor for Tesla to slow down. And obviously, finally, we discuss the licensing of their autonomous AI. So overall, a really good shareholders meeting, some useful insights for us. And I think now's a great time, more bullish than ever on Tesla. I know it's had its run up and a lot of people think Tesla are done, and we've seen some people paper hand Tesla, but I think Tesla is just on the parapet of where they could potentially be. They really could go on an absolute rampage. I know us in the Tesla community have spoken about Tesla a lot and kind of think like it's saturated, but there's a massive world out there. There's a lot of people who aren't interested in Teslas. I mean, there's a lot of countries which don't have Teslas, and this is all green space for Tesla to continue growing over the next 10 years. So it's a massive opportunity for them, and it seems like they're doing all the things right. Well, I'm not going to tell Musk that he's doing it wrong anyway. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.